perfect passive. And today we're going to continue with present perfect passive. But I thought we can look at some real letters and look at when you should use it, why you should use it specifically in OET. Can everyone see my language document here? Hopefully you can. Everyone see this?
Yes.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Okay. So we'll start off with a quick review. Then I'm going to show you letter 1. And we're going to do some, you're going to write me some sentences. Then I'm going to show you letter 2. And you're going to write some sentences. Okay, so that's all we're doing today. Let's get started with this. Let's just play a quick game, actually, just to get a bit warmed up, to get you guys speaking. Very simple game. I always play this. Tell me, what type of word is this? Is it a noun, verb, adjective? Okay. So, for example, if I say sick, what's that? Sick. Noun, verb, adjective?
Adjective.
Yeah, it's an adjective. It's an adjective. Usually adjective, it can also, sometimes it can be noun, sometimes. Usually it's an adjective. What's the noun usually, though?
Sickness.
Yeah, common sickness. Guys, that's the noun, right? Okay. What about something like admit? Everyone, easy.
Verb.
Yeah, merveille. This is a verb, isn't it? Okay. What about this one? This is very easy, guys. What is this?
No. No. No.
Did I spell it correctly?
No.
What do we need to do?
Only one T.
Only one T. Is that right, guys?
No.
No.
Double S.
Double D.
Double S.
Double
Omit
S.
it.
It's quite a strange one. We do the S. Bit strange. Okay, what about something like comply? Comply?
Verb.
Verb.
Merveille, it's a verb. What does it mean to comply?
To agree.
Yeah, Brukaya, to agree
Follow order.
It's to follow the orders.
Yeah, to follow orders.
Okay. What about something like this, guys? Undergo.
Verb. Verb.
Verb.
Merveille, it's a verb. Okay. What does it mean, guys, undergo?
The process of.
To undergo something.
Follow.
It's not follow.
Starting, undergo surgery, like that.
Yeah, we usually say undergo surgery. So it's a very strange verb. It means someone does something to you. Strange, huh? So, guys, do I say this? Mrs. Green was undergone surgery. Do I say that? Is that correct?
No.
Priyanka says no. Why, Priyanka? Is it
Because undergone, it's not correct.
Yeah.
Above, I think. Underwent.
Was underwent. Do I say that, guys? Underwent?
Yeah.
Correct?
No, I think because was is not correct, underwent.
Should this be active or passive, this sentence? Guys, is it active or passive?
Active.
Yeah.
It's a bit crazy, but it should always be active sentence, not passive. You guys, you should remember this. Remember this. Why is it active? Who is Mrs. Green? She doctor or patient?
She's the patient.
Patient.
So shouldn't we say was underwent? Because she is not doing it.
Because undergo meaning someone does something to you.
Yeah, because this verb is a crazy meaning, you use the active. Because inside the meaning of this verb is someone does something to you. Make sense? Because the verb, it's like inside the verb is already the meaning of passive. Okay? Been studying passive this week. Okay, a few more. This is just a game. Don't be shy, guys. Shout out. I don't want to hear the same people all the time. As fast
Can we
as you
say
can.
Mrs. Green been underwent surgery?
No, yeah, you would always use the active. It's very strange. So let me just emphasize this, guys. This is very strange. Okay, unusual. You just need to remember, though, that verb always in the active. Okay. Now, what about this, guys? To. What's that?
Position.
It's a preposition.
Preposition. Okay, what about this, guys? The.
Article.
Article.
Article. Elif. Very nice. Okay, last one, guys. Everyone here, do this as fast as you can. See if you can beat Carmen and Priyanka. They're very fast. What about this?
Adverb.
No.
Adverb.
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 Merve, why so quick? Why were you so quick there? Because
In general.
I quit
Sorry?
them.
ly is always adverb. Okay. Okay, what about this now? Been. Been.
Verb.
It's
Verb
verb.
three.
Priyanka says verb. Okay, it is a verb. Now, everyone, what type of verb is this?
Verb three.
Was, were.
It's verb 3, isn't it? Of which verb?
Was, were.
B. B.
The be verb, isn't it? Another name for this is called or. Last thing. What do we call it?
Auxiliary verb.
Auxiliary verbs. Okay. Auxiliary verbs. There are 3 primary auxiliary verbs. What does primary mean, guys? What does primary mean? Last one. Come on. Primary? Is it a good thing or a bad thing? Primary. Everyone, what does it mean, primary?
It's a good thing, Alan, I think.
Yeah. Let's
The
say
primary means like
yeah.
the firstly, like
Yeah, like gold medal, silver medal,
Yeah.
bronze medal, like in the Olympics. Okay, what are the 3, everyone, you should all know this. Last question. What are the 3 primary auxiliary verbs in English? Very, very important. Be?
Do.
Oh, you guys don't know? Come on, everyone, shout out.
Have.
Do.
Have
Do.
and do. Rinsimol is saving you all, guys. We can talk about this in future classes. You really should understand why these are so important. 3 most important primary auxiliary verbs. Okay, so today we'll start the class. We're doing writing. We'll start with a quick review. Then I'm going to show you an OET letter. Now you guys are going to write some sentences. So let's do a quick review, okay? I told you yesterday that there are, in OET, present perfect. What is the general meaning, anyone, of present perfect in general? I said yesterday. Enes, if you saw the class, cat. Kenny, you can type in the chat if you
actually,
want.
I didn't attend to the class yesterday. Sorry.
No worries. Marwa, Lanky, Shara, Rinsimol. What is
Past is connected to
general-
present.
Carmen, thank you for saving me here. So past connected to present in general. Okay. What does that mean, Paula, Noam, Merve? Can you put your microphones on?
I didn't understand your question.
What does in general mean?
In general, it's valid every time.
Every time? Yeah, that's not bad. Anyone else? What does in general mean?
In
Overall.
common, in
Basic.
all,
Overall, someone said. So overall,
common.
the meaning of present perfect is that the past is connected to the present. But we studied, how many different ways did we study that can?
3.
There was 3
Three.
connections, Marwa, thank you. So Marwa, can you tell me connection number 1, please? What is connection number 1?
Yeah. It is happen in the past and continue until now in a specific time.
Is that right, guys? Everyone? Happened in the past, continues until now? Is she right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So is it finished or unfinished?
Unfinished.
Can be
Unfinished.
The specific
finished.
time.
Well
Finished.
done. So an unfinished action continues until now. When you say specific time, what do you mean specific time? Like
You said
for,
you
For
put
a
number,
period
yeah,
of time.
yeah.
for 3 days, for 5, something like that.
I agree. Guys, look, we always need for and since here. Okay. What does for mean? Does it mean, guys? For?
Duration until now.
Duration until now.
Sorry, so many questions, but what does duration mean? Merve? Shara? Sarah?
I know, Alan, but I don't mention.
It's like how long?
How
guys?
long?
How long?
How long?
Length. Length.
Alan,
Yes.
can we say Mr. Smith has been diagnosed with diabetes since 2010?
Great question. Great question. So let me put it on the board. Can everyone see this?
Yeah.
Okay. So Mrs. Green has been diagnosed since 2010. Is it correct, guys? You could say with blah, 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 right here with. Everyone, think about this. This is a very, very good question, and it's a very common mistake. It's wrong. Why is this
Yeah.
wrong? Marwa, why?
I wrote it in my exam like this.
Yeah, now remember, it's an unfinished action. So think about it, guys. Why is this wrong to say diagnosed? Anyone?
When you have the diagnosis, it's already finished. I mean,
That exactly, right? But here we're saying it
But the result continue until now.
but
He
if
is still
that's the
diabetes.
consequences.
it's the result, then you're looking
Yeah.
at this one.
Consequences.
And that is no for and no since.
Yeah.
Right? So what that means, guys, if I say diagnosed here, it means that he is working for 14 years. The action happens for 14 years until now. Does that make sense?
Yes, he still has diabetes.
But the uninterrupted action, you see what I mean? The doctor, he needs to sleep. He needs to eat food. He cannot only diagnose just that action for 14 years. He will die. Make sense?
Ah,
Does that make sense, guys?
yeah. That means the action for the doctor, not for the patient.
It's an unfinished action. Exactly, exactly. So we never say diagnosed with this one. It's a great question. Thank you. Instead of diagnosed, what can we say?
Had, has had.
Has had. Has had. We use the active voice. Change to active. Has had. Makes sense, guys? Diabetes since. Great question there. Okay, diabetes since 2010. Okay, what does since mean, guys? What's the meaning of since?
Starting time until now.
Hiroshini, it is starting time until now.
Until now.
Again, guys, does this make sense? Look, imagine I said this. Let me give you another example. Imagine I said, Alan. Oops. Microphone's off, please. Someone's just making a bit of noise there. Alan has eaten since 2010. That means that I am eating for 14 years and I never stop eating. Does that make sense?
No.
Of course. Right, so that's the idea. That's the problem. The problem is when you use for and since, it's making it an unfinished action. Okay. However, can present perfect be finished? Can it be a finished action? Yes.
Yes.
It's not
I see the result.
Yeah. So guys, look, finished with consequences in the present. Okay. Now, an example would be Mrs. Green has been given the medication. But Marwa, we can say Mrs. Green has been diagnosed with cancer. It's okay. Why is it okay now?
Because there is no specific time.
There's no for or since. Okay. Does that make sense, everyone?
Thank you.
If there's no for or since, then it's a finished action with consequences in the present. If there's for or since, then it's an unfinished action that continues until now. Okay, what about another example here? I think we had, oh, no, that's here. What was the third one? Paula, I think you didn't tell me you couldn't talk. So Paula, you want to say hello? Or Mei Ling?
Hello.
Hello.
Hey, Paula, thanks for responding. So what was the third meaning? Do you remember?
No, I'm not sure. So
Okay. So anyone remember?
Repeated action.
Repeated.
Right. So this is a strange one. It's like, it's not finished, but it's not unfinished. See what I mean? It's not finished and also not unfinished. It is an action, a finished action that repeats. Is it going to happen again? Will it happen?
Yes, it's possible.
yeah.
So we might say in OET, Kat, like Mrs. Jones has been monitored 3 times this morning. Okay? It's repeating. Up until the present moment, it's repeating. Repeated until now. Does that make sense, everyone?
Yes.
Now, if you remember this from yesterday, what is the most common one? What is the one in the passive? We're going to use, usually passive will be one of these. Passive. Anyone remember this? Usually passive,
Finished.
present perfect. In OET, he says finished. Who said that? Was that Ravi?
Yes, Alain.
Yeah, it's usually this one. That's the number one way that you can use it. The most usual way. What about the second most usual way? Kat, Mei Ling, Kim. Second most common. I'm going to say here, first most usual way to use. Is it this one, guys? Or is it this one? Second most important, most useful.
I believe it's repeated, I guess.
Yes, correct. Okay. We don't really use this one so much. I don't see a lot of examples of that. Usually it's difficult to think of an example. Okay. Very often we use the active for this. You can say has had. Okay. All right. So I'll take some questions now. Any questions you want, we can discuss. Then we're going to do some exercises looking at real letters. But does anyone have any questions for me? Put your hand up, put your microphone on, type in the chat. Does this make sense? Remember, I'm not saying this is all meanings, right? This is not all meanings. It's just what you need for OE. In my opinion, you need this for the writing. These 3. Okay? Anyone want to ask? You guys are so quiet today. What's up with you all?
Friday.
Okay, it's actually quite nice. Sometimes when you do the doctor's class, it's like everyone is coming in. Okay, so look, let's take all of this now and put it into a letter. What do you think? Can we do it? I think we can. Let's put all of this, hopefully, understanding, learning, put it into a letter. Is everyone ready?
Yes, Alain.
Yes.
Okay, so Ravi, you help me out here. So what's the name of the patient here?
Nita Roberts.
Nita Roberts. Okay, and sorry, that's not the patient, is it, guys? What's the name of the medical professional? Nita Roberts. Okay.
Miss Nita Roberts. Yeah.
What's the name of the patient? Ravi.
Mrs.
Jasmine Thompson.
Jasmine Thompson.
Okay, so this is paragraph 1. I'm writing regarding Mrs. Thompson, who underwent a right total shoulder replacement. Guys, should I say was underwent?
No.
No.
No, right? Remember we discussed that before. So who underwent a right total shoulder replacement. She's now being discharged home and requires your assessment of further care at home. This is a really nice letter, I think. Does anyone see any mistakes? Don't really see anything so far. Okay, now let's have a look at this next paragraph. Mrs. Thompson was admitted to our hospital due to right shoulder osteoarthritis and underwent the aforementioned procedure. This is such a great letter. What does aforementioned mean, guys? What does that mean?
Okay.
Already mentioned before.
Yeah, so it's mentioned here, right? Is this a good thing or a bad thing? Very good. Very nice writing. Okay. Is there any passive here? Carmen, do you see any passive in this sentence?
Was admitted.
Yeah, so this is probably most famous use of passive, guys. If I change the verb to visited, is that correct?
No,
No.
No, really. Why? Why?
no word, no words, no B word.
No.
Mrs. Thompson visited to our hospital, no words. Yeah. No.
Well, if it's
Yeah.
visit, it should be the active voice, right?
Correct for clinic.
Yeah, well, yeah, usually we use visited for clinic, exactly. So visited is for the clinic usually. Okay, but if I say clinic now here, is it correct? No. Why?
No.
Why?
Because visited it
It should be has visited was.
Well, it should be active.
Yeah.
only visited.
Because this is Mrs. Thompson. She is doing the action. Okay, she is doing it. She is the subject. In passive, Marwa, do we start with the subject or the object?
Object.
The object.
In passive object.
In passive, we start with the object. But here, visited, she is the subject. She is doing it. Okay, so very important. Admitted is always in the passive. Visited is always in the active. Okay, you should write that down. Carmen, it's always like that in the exam. Okay, visit, always active. Admit, always passive. Okay. What about another thing now? Let me show you this. Can everyone see this here? Today, Mrs. Thompson's discharge with her daughter. Any ideas what that might be, guys? What might go in here?
Care plan.
We've got discharge here. We've got plan here. I want us to try and use, what are we studying? What are we studying?
Passive.
Passive in which tense?
Perfect.
So, Carmen, can you make me a passive perfect sentence? This is your verb 3, right? Remember, guys, to make passive perfect, what do we need? We need object. Object is discharge. Okay. Then we need what?
Has, have.
Has. Then we need what?
Verb.
Verb.
Planned.
Been.
Planned.
Plan
Then we need
to
verb.
stay.
Verb 3 is here. Okay. So, Carmen, can you say this? What should it be?
Today, Mrs.
Thompson
has been discharged.
has been planned to discharge.
Today,
And
Mrs. Thompson's
and-
discharge has been.
and she has been planned to stay with
Yeah.
her
Mrs.
her
Thompson discharge has been planned.
Yeah, they made a plan. Guys, they've made a plan with the daughter. Make sense? Let's do a check. Guys, go to the chat box and write me one sentence. Finish this sentence, please, guys. Or the full sentence in the chat box, please. Today, Mrs. Thompson's discharge has been planned with her daughter. Like that. Go and write it so I can check. Just to get started. This should be easy at this stage. I want the full sentence, please, Amin. Write the full sentence. So today, Mrs. Thompson's discharge has been planned. Because I want to talk about the meaning as well. So just write the full sentence. I think the word today is important. Okay, that's important, isn't it? So Julie, perfect and very fast. Love it. Elif, good. Mei Ling, it's easy, right? We've all got it. So Pew, thank you, Pew. Kat, good. Priyanka, okay. Tasnim, spelling. Verb 3 is two ends. Two ends here. Rinsimol, very nice. Okay, now here's my question for all of you. Is this number 1, number 2, or number 3? Is this a finished action? Is this a continuous action?
Continued action.
So the planning, does the planning continue until now?
It's finished.
Finished.
Who said continuous action here? It's wrong, right? It's this one, guys, right? It's this one. Who said continuous action? It's okay, I'll show you something. Who said continuous action here?
Me.
Mei Ling, if I say has been planned for 10 days, now it is continuous. That action's not finished. Okay? But if I don't say for, it's a finished action with consequences in the present. Okay? So guys, the discharge plan is finished, but there are consequences. What are the consequences? Can anyone tell me? What are the consequences of finishing the discharge plan? What are the consequences of that? Anyone?
Finally.
Finally, yeah. Merve, is she ready now?
Yes.
Right?
Result.
We're just saying it's been done. She's kind of ready to go, right? It's that idea. That's the consequence. Okay, so guys, let's do another one. Her blood results are within normal limits and her neurovascular observations are normal. Look at this. Cold compresses and a shoulder brace. So guys, this is the object, okay? What's going to go here?
Verb 3.
Where recommended.
Has been, or has or have been. What's the verb?
Have
To
been.
the wound. What's the verb?
Recommended.
Applied.
Recommended to the wound? No.
Applied.
Applied, Carl. What do you think, guys?
Yeah.
Applied? Yeah, okay. Go to the chat box. Write me a sentence, okay? Again, this is a finished action. We're telling the reader, like, we've finished all these things. We have finished all these things. She is ready. Consequence, she is ready for discharge, okay? So write me in the chat, if you can, please. Today, Mrs. Thompson's discharge has been planned with her daughter. There you go, Rukaya. Sorry, that was the last one. Write me number 2 now, guys. Number 2. And Elif, is this your letter? Because I'm going to give you some advice at the end. So
Yes.
I'm going to give you a piece of advice as well later. So it's a very good letter, but there's one thing I can tell you here should be useful. Okay. But I'll wait till the end. So Gulsin, cold compresses and now, guys, is it has or have? Cold compress and the shoulder brace. Have or has? Is it more than one thing or only one thing?
There are 2 things.
Yeah, so have or has?
Has.
Has is for one thing. Alan has.
Have.
Alan and Carmen have. Right? It's plural, so it should be have, guys. So,
Oh,
no,
okay.
sorry, incorrect.